This is the Ridgeway square, and it's three tools in one. It's a tri-square, it's a double square, and it has a really cool feature built into the handle which makes it an adjustable combination square. So you can lock that in anywhere between 0 and 45 degrees, and using the scale on the back of the handle, you can very accurately lock it into the angle that you want, which makes it a very nice general layout tool. And you don't need to have three squares sitting there. This handles all of those operations. Now there's some interesting technology built into the ruler of this as well. On one side, you're going to see little cutaways on the side of the ruler, and we call that true mark technology. So typically during layout, when you want to be very accurate, you put a tick mark on a board, then you put your lead on the tick mark and move your square up to the lead in place before you make your mark. Now, you don't have to do that anymore. Just make your tick mark, move the edge of the ruler up to that tick mark, and then draw the line. That little cutaway removes the lead parallax, or the pencil lead parallax. That's the distance between the ruler and the pencil lead. So now you can have really accurate results, removing that little nuance, that little irritation when you're doing layout. Next up, we have the Merlin, and the Merlin is really designed for building face frames and doing box and carcass work. And it looks suspiciously like most other double squares, but like the Ridgeway, it has some cool tricks up its sleeve. Metaphorical sleeve. Now, on the base of this, we do have a locking shelf pin that you can lock in place, and that works in both directions. Those shelf pins come in real handy when it comes to stability and accurate layout. Now, just like the Ridgeway, we have the TrueMark technology built into the ruler. Now, the Merlin does something that no other double square on the planet does. It lays perfectly flat. A couple of really nice things about that. Well, first of all, you don't lose the capacity of your ruler. You can still use it like a ruler. It gives you a nice strong hold. But if you move it all the way to the right side, you end up with a right-sided frame square. If you move it to the left, you end up with a left-sided frame square. Now, frame squares are often used in cabinet and carcass work as well, but now you can do both of those things with just one square. The real advantage here is that you have a good line of sight to see if your boxes are square. It's not wobbling around. It sits really tight in the corners, and you can very visibly see the square of the work that you're doing. Meet the simple but mighty red tail offset. Now, this offset sets itself apart from other offsets with a couple unique features. Now, first of all, it works just like other offsets do. The ruler has the TrueMark technology built into it. But on the opposite side of the 90 degree, we have put 45s in there, which is great for small layout. On top of that, this does something other offsets don't do. It doesn't wrap around the ruler. So you still have access to your ruler to be used as a straight edge throughout its whole operation. And that comes in handy. This is the Red Tail Ruler expansion set, and it works with the last three tools we just looked at. It comes with a 4, 6, and 12-inch ruler, and is forward and backward compatible with everything that we're making in the Predator series. So not just these three tools, but the tools that are coming in the future. So you can have the tool you want and the size you want it in without having to break the bank. The Titan Double Protractor is the first of its kind, and this is a 5-in-1 tool. Stacking two protractors on top of each other and having a trunnion in them that lets them adjust tangentially makes this a very unique and fun to use tool. One of the first things that you'll notice is it has center finding capability. So any dowel up to 1.25 inches in diameter will work great for this, and also square stock up to 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches. The next thing it does is line marking, and it's Pika pencil friendly. Each one of those holes indicates a 1/2 inch increment. So in this position, you can do layout line marking from 1/2 inch to 2.5 inches. Now, if you look at the center of the top protractor, you'll see some markings there as well. Up there, you can lay out 1/4 inch increments, and they all correspond with the outside hole. Now, the other thing that's really unique about this, because of the size of those holes, it's really easy to just make a mark anywhere in the board up to 2.5 inches and align it with it. So that's a really nice feature. And of course, it's an angle square. So you can adjust this anywhere from 0 to 140 degrees when the thumb screw is in the outside position. Another nice advantage of the Titan is it works for both left-handed and right-handed people. Just move the thumb screw to the opposite side. It'll work for whatever you need. So to recap, this is a protractor. It's a center finder, an angle square, a line marking tool, and a safety ruler, all built into one tool. This is the Firehawk trim square, and like the other tools, it does a lot of different things and has some cool features. One of the things that makes it really unique is the fence on the square has a slant on it, so it will lay flat on surfaces, which means you can use the fence or the handle to do really crisp line marking and very accurate line marking, unlike other squares when it's laying down, it's kind of up in the air. Now, the fence has a couple of slots in it that is designed to accept the Firehawk depth stop. Now, that depth stop comes in really handy for setting blade heights on table saws or on your trim routers. It's also really nice for setting distances from blades like on your table saw or bandsaw. It's also really handy for remembering those distances if you have to move your fence for some reason and bring it back to a really accurate position. And if you look really closely, on the depth stop, there's a hole in there that a Pica pencil fits in. This turns the Firehawk trim square into a scribe and has lots of uses when it comes to cabinet making or chair making or other places. We do sell the Falcon depth stop separately, and the reason we do that is it's designed to work on 90% of the rafter squares, speed squares, or carpenter squares, whatever you want to call them, out there on the market. So you can still get all that function on the square that you already use. These 7 tools are the first in the Predator series lineup, each one of them named after a bird of prey. Now there's definitely more coming, and each of those tools is going to have the same level of efficiency built into each one of these products. These tools are designed to minimize the trips back and forth to the toolbox and keep the clutter off your bench or out of your work pouch.